and welcome to Painless Universal, my top piece. You've seen everything going on in the world right now, and at Painless Universal, it will be unfair for us not to talk about it, because everything going on revolves around pain. Everything going on right now revolves around pain. And this pain has been going on from a very long time. It has been going on since our great-grandfathers sold us in Africa. They sold us and they made us a property of another person. So people didn't see us as us, but they saw us as properties. And when we went over to the States and other parts of the world, they still saw us as properties. It was hard for people to understand the difference between a bought property and normally who they are. This caused very much anger when people started realizing that the treatments they were living about 400 years ago was really unfair. Today, 2020, this pain is still going on. And you know why? We never fixed the institutions. We just didn't. We left it. We didn't fix that. When I mean institutions, we didn't empower us. We didn't teach us to know. We didn't teach us in schools when a black kid was doing better. They automatically demoted a black kid. And then you lost your confidence. When you're at work, you make the littlest mistake. You lose your jobs. So you then have no job, no hope. You're on the street again, surviving, trying to find a job to look after your kid. At schools, we never taught them the difference, that no one was different, that everyone is equal. But instead, the people who were meant to protect them started to make the difference. In hospitals, for examples. That's another big problem as well. When they go into hospital, they will never always getting the best treatment because the system was taught to fail them. Guys, we can't get by being on the streets or fighting on the streets. But we could get by asking the key questions. How do we create change that we've been suffering for many, many years and find joy? How do we change the minds of our institutions? So when they see a black kid that is really doing well, they don't feel discouraged. They teach love in school. How do we encourage people to start teaching love at home? Because I refuse to accept that if you love a human being, you will do something unnecessarily to them. How do we start teaching them? Our grandfathers made a mistake in Africa by selling us. But let that mistake not keep going on to 2020. We're in new eras, we're in new time. People are in pain. People are suffering. We need to change our institution to start understanding that we are loved, when we are decent human beings and we need to break free. We need not to be threatened by them. We need not to make it worse by not putting money in our schools. We need not to make it worse by not putting money in the wherever that needs that resources. We need not make it worse by always closing their bank accounts and making them work harder. And when a black mother is working harder, she hasn't got time to look after her kids because she's working so hard to provide for them. When you're moving from jobs to job, you haven't got time to know how well your kid is doing in school. And guess what? Where we end up? We end up in prison because of the consequences of our actions of the institution. Change can come, but change needs to come with everyone. People need to understand the difference. If we don't give people an equal opportunity, equal chance, we will still keep fighting. And this video will not be made by me. It will be made by my son, still telling you the same old story. No. Today we need change. We have to stop the pains. When a black person opens a bank account, they're always the first to be penalized. When a black person makes a mistake in a job, they're always the first to be penalized. When they make mistakes in school, we are the first to be penalized. But if you take away the advantages of them being able to get jobs, to open bank accounts, to take their kids to school, how do you expect them to be equal? How do you expect the economy to grow? On the other hand, if you keep teaching the other side, the white side, it's okay to treat them, a black person, like he's your toy. It's okay to disrespect a black person in your household. If you tell your kids that, they will grow up and start believing that that's okay. You need to empower your household and teach them love. Because above anything in this world, nothing beats love. But you need to start teaching that in your household. People need to understand the values of love and what love does. When you see your child talking nasty about a black person, you correct them immediately. When you see a school teacher talking nasty about a black child, you correct them immediately. When you hear an employee talking nasty about a black person, you correct them immediately. And when these small changes start to happen, you will see changes. Everyone, I urge you, black, white, whatever color you are, respect and love one another like you love not your family, but yourself. And believe me, change will start to happen. But I don't want to read this message out or it to be read out by my son in 2040, where we're repeating the same cycle because we refuse to empower the system or change the system. It's hard enough out there. Let's not make it any harder. You've committed atrocity, mistakes have been made, but now it's time for that change. I applaud to everyone who listens to this. Painless Universal will not stop. We will keep talking and we'll keep reaching out. I'm going to reach out to a lot of people to talk to them and to share their stories in my conversation. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts, and I really hope the change will start today.